Hi, everybody. This is David Chumley coming to you from quarantine in a 1,700 square foot house in Fresno, California. My guest today, I'm pretty excited to talk to Adam Zulim, who is up in Utah. And are you technically, what city in Utah are you at? Where are you?
Ogden, Utah, about 30 minutes north of Salt Lake City. It sounds horrible. It sounds like something from the Central Valley, but it's actually a really nice town. That wasn't a passive-aggressive slam on you at all. But
And the war with California, Utah starts. No.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I've been to Ogden. It's beautiful there. And the church that you serve at, that used to be called Crossroads, I think, is it?
Yeah, it's still Crossroads. It's a Foursquare church, and we're just having, not having a super fun time now, but with everything going on, but we're having a great time up here, loving on our neighbors. And awesome. Yeah, I'm an assistant pastor there. It's just been great.
Yeah, that's cool. For folks that are tuning in here that don't know Adam, connections maybe even from Fresno area that might not know you, which is weird to me. But Adam Zulim grew up in the Fresno Clovis area and was a part of when I first came in to be a youth pastor. He was a young adult that had just graduated and had half the church praying for his soul.
yeah, that's true.
Made it through that time and then started working with the youth group and became an intern at the church. And it was just awesome. We had a lot of fun in those years.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. I remember we had talking about some of the Mexico missions trips.
Oh man.
Some of the unique things about that. And we said it, I really don't think we can overestimate when we gave the dogs names of diseases to keep them safe. Man, we can never overestimate those canines. They were walking death, man. It was just.
Yeah, I'm still not much of an animal person today because of those experiences, to be honest. So.
That's true. I won't mention his name because I think somebody might know him, but one of the younger junior hires was so excited to find a little kitten. I don't know if you remember that. They found a raggedy, half-dead kitten, and before I knew it, they had it with them back in their sleeping bag, and that thing like within hours.
Yeah, that's bad. I'm pretty sure that person's no longer with us. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. And then
oh my gosh.
Adam and I had the privilege of going on a missions trip to Australia too.
Yes.
And that was pretty amazingly good times.
That was awesome. Coffs Harbor, we fed a kangaroo, and we went all the way. Like we drove like 10 hours to that pastor's church only for him to go fishing instead of be there. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a slight logistic mess up. But that was pretty cool to be in that location. I always remember, playing with the kids there, going to their, the church had a connection into a gym building. We got to go play, and they had a lot of Aborigine kids that lived in that area. Man, that was pretty awesome.
One of the stories, I don't know if you remember this, but in Australia, you could go to public schools, which was not a thing in the States at the time, where missionary teams could go into public schools, preach the gospel. We had a skit prepared. I don't know if you remember this, because I don't know if you were with me, but the first school we went to, and I remember being super insecure because it's a high school and nothing makes me feel more insecure than high school. I can't even watch High School Musical. I get all insecure. So we went, and there was a guy talking to a girl, and I'm like, all right, just man it up, go invite them to the service we're doing later tonight. So I get all my courage. I just interrupt their conversation. I go, hey guys. And this guy just punches the girl in the face.
That's right.
Right in front of me. Do you remember this? Just punches her.
Oh my God.
And I was like, hey, we're doing a service tonight. You guys want to come?
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say. That guy came to that service that night at that small little church, and he was one of, I think, of the 9 kids that stood up to receive Christ for the first time.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, crazy. I don't think they teach that kind of evangelism methodology. I haven't seen that 4 spiritual laws plus a right hook equals.
Oh man.
Awesome. Yeah, so if this ever, because the internet's an amazing thing, so shout out to Moree, Australia.
Yes, Moree, Australia.
The Lawsons were the pastors. Pastor Chris, I forget her husband's name. Gosh, but the Lawsons.
Yeah, me too. They were beautiful.
Cool thing, man. So Mexico trips, the Australia trip, and then when you went to step out as a youth pastor, your first assignment there, you and your wife Christy, you guys were up in the Sacramento area, right?
Yeah. We were in Roseville, became the youth pastors there. We were there for 8 years. It was kind of one of those best times and then hard times all at the same time.
Yeah.
But we were there for 8 years, and now, crazy Chumley, this August it'll be 10 years that we've been in Utah. It's just insane.
That's crazy, isn't it? It goes quick.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I look back on some of the, like you just said, the stuff that's hard, and it's so hard when you're going through it. And then you look back and you see the amazing things. Like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Adam, I got to tell on you because I use you as an example. And I love this. There were times, correct me if this is not right, but there were times in the youth group when you guys wanted to do worship. You didn't have maybe somebody with any musical skills. So you'd play the CD and you and the couple of kids would sing along. I love that because I know that was
real.
hard, but man, what a powerful thing to say worship is too important not to do it, you know?
Yeah, no, it was. And I can even one that I don't even know how to make sense of it now, but there was a kid that came to youth group every night, but he wasn't a believer, but he could play guitar. Yeah. And I was just like, you're all we got. Like, do you mind just learning the chords to these songs and we're all going to worship? And he did, and we all sang praises to Jesus. And, you know, you do what you got to do to sing praises to Jesus. So.
Yep, that's not a bad life motto. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, and back then it was boom boxes still, so I felt like John Cusack during worship, just holding it above my head while everybody sang.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's a great heart of stuff though, because like you said, it's too important. You know, you gotta help people enter into that stuff. Hey, right before we started recording, you told me there in Utah, obviously there's some unique particular things with LDS Church and such a huge part of the population. But what just happened with the virus here?
Yeah.
You gotta share it with everybody.
Yeah. So, you know, your governor Newsom just put all you guys on lockdown. We're not quite there yet. Schools are done and all that, but they haven't like told us to stay home yet. But we're all trying to do that anyway, so that he doesn't have to say that to us. And so, the LDS Church, which of course Utah and the temple here is the first one, and so it's a very sacred place for that faith. And so they're bringing back all their missionaries. So thousands of missionaries return to the Salt Lake City airport from all over the world. And then all their family members went to go see them and pick them up, but instead of staying in their cars and all that. So there was like over 1,600 people just in mass togetherness at the airport. And Mitt Romney and our governor was not very happy about that. And, you know, none of us were super excited about that. Right. You need to be quarantined more than anybody when you come back from all these other countries. So that was kind of a interesting news story for the last few days.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. I mean, that's humorous in a way that's, I guess, kind of gallows humor. Maybe not that good, but at least you can look at it and I don't know. Oh, man. Well, buddy, I wanted to kind of ask you guys, having been there in ministry for a long time now, settling into that community. And so now we hit this weird quarantine time, right? Just a bizarre type of thing. But how is it with the church and folks in the area there? How are you guys as a worshiping community trying to stay connected, or what are you doing to try to go through this time?
Oh man, Chumley, it's such a weird time for me to I am a hugger. I'm a large group gatherer. I'm a want to eat off of your plate, drink after you person. So for me personally, this is deeply challenging. I am not a, just stay in the house person. So it's been interesting because I've been thinking of like the story of the Good Samaritan, and like Jesus, tells us to love our neighbor. And in that story, you run to them and pick them up off the ground and carry them. And so now to think that maybe loving your neighbor means not going to them.
Right.
It's a weird thing that my brain is trying to wrap around, that maybe the best thing I can do for someone is actually not go to them. Yeah. And so it's very counterintuitive for someone who's wired like me to want to be with people face to face, talking, hugging them, seeing how they're doing. And so I'm kind of, I think we're all trying to figure this out. We are blessed that we've been doing live streams for a while for those who are sick, or we have a large military community. There's a huge military base right next to our church. And so these people get deployed, and it gives them a chance to still stay connected with us. So now that this has happened, we're able to just maintain an online presence. And so trying to, you know what I'm trying to do? I don't like talking on the phone. It hurts my ear holding I don't know if it causes pain. So I don't like to do it. So when texting came a thing, I was like, oh yeah, say whatever I want to you and I don't have to actually talk. So now I've actually just been calling people every day, especially some of our seniors, and just going, how are you doing? Are you staying home? You need to stay home. Don't go anywhere. And so I'm making a lot more phone calls than I ever have before in my life, really.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? I think times like this, you see through the years, through every stage of God's people, when technology is there, it's not the essence of stuff. It's just a multiplier. It's just a tool. But man, the farther we go along, the greater those tools are. We're not digging in a hole with a plastic knife. It's a big crowbar now. So yeah, the technology is amazing to facilitate it, but it also is not the essence of the thing. So I can't wait for people to be back together.
Me too.
Lucinda, my wife, just the other day said how cool it will be. It's like a little foretaste of heaven, thinking of the longing we have all to be together with the Lord. Well, when this all gets done, we get to have church service in person again. Man, that's going to be this sweet little taste, like finally.
Yeah.
That'll be a cool thing.
It will be so sweet. Our greeting time will probably go on. We won't be able to stop it. Right, settle down, fellas. Settle down.
Yeah, that's right. Put down.
I feel like this is a litmus test for my faith and where my confidence is, where I place it. It's a litmus test for me in my priorities. And I think it'll be that for everyone, religious or irreligious. The Utah culture here, which I'm sure it's like this in California and maybe everywhere, maybe it's the American culture, is all of your kids are in everything. Yeah. Your kid plays 4 sports and piano and sax and dance, and then your other kid does, and your other kid. So it's a culture here in particular that moves very fast. Husbands and wives, we're not sitting around a table eating dinner. We're not, it's just kind of moms and dads going, who's dropping off who? So now all that's been stripped away. And that in and of itself is not bad, because I think it'll give us a chance when things maybe go back to normal at some point to decide for ourselves, do we want to go back to what was? Because how healthy and sustainable was that really? And we could end up, just with healthier families through all this. At least that's my hope, for sure.
That's a good thing to key in on. And I know I've seen a lot of pastors online starting to talk about, let's not just react to what's going on, but in a sense, by the fact that this has come upon us, it's just like you said, now we get to reevaluate things and ask the Lord to strengthen stuff or bring things, into balance that need to be. And the important thing is to not just brush it off and walk back into the exact same stuff.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Hey, a change of something to ask a question. And this has been in the back of my mind for about, 8 years now. Okay. Maybe 12 years. So as one of the people in the world that I know that loves Indiana Jones absolutely the most,
yes.
Tell me good parts of the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull movie.
First of all, I don't have everyone can hear you. My kids don't know about that movie. So don't say it out loud like that.
Pretend it never happened? Is that what you're saying, or what?
The movie you just referred to does not exist in the Zulim home. Our kids are not allowed to watch that.
Okay.
I try to spin it that that it's some, I don't know. I just I lie to them. I'm just going to say it out there. I lie to them. It is not a thing. So
awesome.
yes, as you said, I am an indie nerd. In fact, there's a city up here, a ski resort town called Park City, where they do the Sundance Film Festival, if you've heard of that. And every year the downtown does trick-or-treating for whoever wants to come. So I have gone 6 straight years as Indiana Jones. And every year I buy a new piece to the ensemble. And this is how nerdy I am. It gets shipped from England. I got the whip and the hat. Yeah, it's insane. But no. But the bigger question is, they are going to do it again. They're making a new one that starts filming next year.
Yeah.
With Harrison Ford.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I don't know what else. Yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully he can still run or, throw the whip out there. And
he's so old.
Hey, back on the old youth group Rev days when we did Thursday Night Live, I'm trying to picture the one where it was the Batman. Were you in the Batman suit, or was Phil in the Batman suit?
Uh, Phil was the villain, and Justin DeBoss.
That's right. That's right. I'm
and
Batman. What?
and then Phil's like, well, I'm sorry, what did you say? I'm Batman. I can't hear. You're gonna have to speak into my good ear, and he has to say it over and over again.
Isn't that awesome? I gotta find some of those old videos. That was some pretty creative stuff.
So Owen is out here. If
Yeah.
any of you guys listening know Owen Leanhart, he was at Valley Christian Center for a while with Chumley, and he's got his on VHS, and I have mine on VHS, and we both keep talking about digitizing them and then sitting down with our families so they could see the absurdity of what was happening.
Yeah. Sock puppet theater might be my favorite. Oh my gosh. Hey, you know, it's cool. Owen's brother, Chris, is a associate pastor and had been doing youth and is helping his dad in Sparks, Nevada. And I've gotten to know him in the last couple of years. Just awesome. It's it's pretty amazing in the world of church ministry and God's people together. And you get to know somebody connected to somebody and you just already love them. You know, it really does show the family of God. It's a pretty cool thing.
It is. And I think Foursquare really does that beautifully. With the times I've got to go to a Foursquare conference or connection, it does feel like one giant family. It really is beautiful. Yeah, Chris, he's a great dude. Great dude.
Yeah. Well, man, thank you for talking to me today. I know it's quick just to check in, and we probably could go for a long, long time. But
we'd have to stop recording, though, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, too. Man, I'm just so proud of you guys, and we love you and Christy, and I just am really blessed as you guys have been there and ministering with Rob in that church. And it's just, you guys really, I feel weird sometimes as I'm starting to talk to people in interviews. I get all old man, fatherly, like, hey, but I just really am proud of you, man. Love you.
Thank you, Chumley. I love you too. And I will just end with this is Christy and I will talk about this. I've loved every stage of my life. This stage has been a little bit tough. Christy's got lupus, and so that's a tough thing. Ministry life has always been sweet ever since I started. But I've told this to Rob Geiler and to Christy. That time at Valley, there was like a 3 to 5 year window there.
Yeah,
that was my sweetest time of ministry in my life. It was just the most wonderful, beautiful time, and you were a big part of that. So I love you, man. I really appreciate you too.
Thanks, buddy. Well, let me pray for you guys, for the family and the church and everything going on right now. Okay.
Thank you, brother.
All right.